Hey, you. I think we got to talk about some stuff. And, you know, luckily, this episode is sponsored by the Democratic Party. Have you ever wanted to become an American citizen? Well, good news, you don't have to. Come on down and get your free $10,000 debit card, sponsored by those who want your vote. So come on down and get free housing, free food, and a shit ton of money on us, the Democratic Party. I'm just kidding, y'all, but you know, this episode was a little delayed. I had like real life stuff going on, like nothing huge, but just a lot on the mind and stuff. And then as far as the news went, there's just a ton of things that are happening right now. There was just so much news so quickly, and then I just had a lot on my plate at the moment that, this might be more of like a combo episode where we're just talking about a couple different things, like, Judge Ingron or whatever his name is saying that Trump had to pay $500 million because um, he reported that his house was more than what this judge is perceiving it to be, the actual value. So he slapped a fraud case on him. But what's crazy is, I seen this article from like the 80s that had an advertisement for Mar-a-Lago, and at that point it was 20 million. And right now in 2024, with tons of inflation, apparently it's now worth 18 million, even though every house surrounding Mar-a-Lago is worth more than that, and Mar-a-Lago is the biggest house in that vicinity. So, they're not even playing, like they're not pretending anymore. They're just out in the open. Hey, we're just gonna try and arrest you, or we're just gonna try to make you broke where you can't run. Like it is election interference at its core. Like they are legitimately just saying, yeah, we want to get Trump any way that we can, and somehow we, the conservative party, the Republicans, the libertarians, the patriots, whatever you want to call yourself, we're just allowing it to happen because oftentimes I think that we take the high road. We, don't stoop to their level. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of Republicans that are kind of yucky, like Mitch McConnell and like Nikki Haley, and I'm very hesitant in calling her a Republican at all. But I guess we got to be careful because we don't ever want to be what the Democratic Party actually like portrays us as. The racists, the whatever, the bigots, the people that hate immigrants and all this. I can only look to my I can only look into my real life and see that some people like broad strokes painted answers, or like descriptions of things or people. Like, they like to say that you hate immigration because you don't like people coming through in the thousands into your country illegally. Like, no, I'm like pro immigration. Like, please come to the United States, but like do it the right way. Like it we are a country of immigrants, and to say that like you don't like want anybody coming in is not the argument you want to make. The argument you want to make is you have to do it the right way. And I've kind of beat the drum when it comes to this immigration issue that we have, but like it is so crazy to see like on the news or independent media or whatever, they're talking about all this stuff except for like what is really important. I mean, we are paying taxes to a government that is giving it away to people that are not citizens. Like that has to start a fire in you somehow. I mean, I really hope to God, if you're watching this video, that it angers you to know that your government is taking your money that you worked for, and then they're going to, make it disappear, and then somehow it's going to end up in the pocket of somebody that is not a legal citizen. New York City is literally giving $10,000 debit cards to illegal invaders on top of housing them, and they can't even put up their vets or feed their homeless that were already there, like the veterans that require assistance that can't find housing on their own because they have to make room for these illegal invaders. And I'm not going to call them migrants anymore. I'm done calling them migrants. It is a full-scale invasion perpetrated by our own government. They are bringing in a future voting base. Plain and simple. And like it's got to start making us mad to where we're doing something about it. I have noticed that like some conservative channels are starting to fight back, specifically around. Now this is kind of off topic, but it's going on right now. The Gemini thing from Google. The AI has portrayed historical inaccuracies when it comes to people's depiction of color. Like they looked up Vikings and they were black. They looked up Nazis and they were Asian, like that type of stuff. But it also, like somebody asked it like to do a poem as Jim Jordan. And it said that it couldn't do that because he, something to the effect of like, he was like a sexual predator or something, like slanderous things. I know that Tim Pool and the Hodge twins were, I guess they were tweeted about it. There was a screenshot of somebody doing this, and it said something libelous about them, and they're like, "Should we sue them?" And like, I piped in and like, absolutely, we should do that. If the left is just throwing out these like fragrant, like frivolous lawsuits, like, then if we actually have one that we can pursue that isn't just some kind of bullcrap, then do it. Make these tech companies accountable. Make them accountable for the monopolizing of all the information, the censorship that they've been doing. And like, what's crazy is the left is saying that like we the right side of things want to censor like what they're saying, or like don't want them to say whatever. Like honestly, you can say whatever the hell you want, but like when it comes to a lot of the stuff that is divisive, things that we really don't like certain people's rights that make up 1% of the population that like to, I mean, like I would call it a mental illness, but anyways, like those are conversations. Like don't shove it down our throats. Like be whatever you want, just don't like make me try to accept you. I mean, like if you're a person, like whatever. But anyway, that's probably a different topic. But there's just so much going on right now that it was hard to really nail down one topic to really talk about. Because I don't know, I feel like it's ramping up into something crazy that's going to happen soon. I mean, I feel like it goes without saying that they are not going to make Sleepy Joe their candidate. There's just no way. Like if recent videos I've watched of him, he is decrepit. Like, and it's not me just poking fun. He's an old man. I mean, Trump's an old man, but like, if you were to put those two on stage, there is no way that Joe Biden would look good. They would have to pump him full of methamphetamines or something crazy. Like, there's just no way that he could compete with the mental acuity of Donald Trump. There's just no way. So they have to find, like, I guess whatever their solution is, maybe somehow they get him through, elected again by, whatever means. You can't say that they cheated, but, they're going to try to get through by whatever means, and then maybe swap him with Kamala. I mean, I could see that because like she couldn't run on a general election. Everybody hates her. Like she's very unlikable. So like maybe that's their play, is they're going to push him through somehow by whatever means, because there's just no way he would win the popular vote. Like anybody could run against him. Like his own party is cannibalizing him because he's just so old. He's so old. And like, I know that that's probably me being unfair to him, like his job's hard or whatever, but like he is like an 80-year-old man I'm 31 and there's times where I don't want to get out of bed. Imagine being 80 years old and have 100 things on your plate every single day, like flying. Well, I want to say flying all over the country, but he probably just kind of hides in the White House often. But like, and there's times where he, has he does something weird. He's can't find the exit or falls down the stairs or whatever. He's an old man. Like, part of me like doesn't even want to blame the guy because like if I was 80 years old, I probably wouldn't be looking very good either. And trust me, I am not playing defense for that guy. But like they have to have some type of plan in place, and so that's where it's hard for me to kind of make a prediction of kind of what is coming soon. Because my point was that like I feel something is like ramping up, and I had made a prediction on a previous episode of like the idea that something would be staged where migrants would start being attacked or robbed or whatever, and they would portray that the MAGA party or whatever they want to call us anymore are the bad guys because they're out there hurting the poor illegal immigrants. And I seen an article on Twitter today, and it was saying that there has been recent like a gang of people like holding up immigrants, quote unquote, with guns. And in my head, I was thinking, well, these are the same dudes like the in Nashville, the Nazis that were walking down the street. Like it's all the same people, man. It's just feds with masks on. Because I can tell you one thing unequivocally is the MAGA Republicans, the right, whatever you want to call us, we don't wear masks. We've been anti-masks in 2020. We don't wear masks to hide our identity because we're not out there doing this stuff that they want to portray us as. Like these neo-Nazi people, they ain't us. They're their own. Honestly, I think they're a bunch of federal government actors trying to stir up the pot. But I have a feeling that it's like the same people doing this down there. They're trying to stir up the pot and spin this narrative that we just hate immigration and we're going to go down there and just attack them. And instead of actually addressing and fixing the problem, like closing down the border and like working on getting people back to where they came from if they're here illegally, or finding a solution there. But like we are just keeping the floodgates open, expecting something to just kind of fix itself. Like we don't have a game plan. There is no game plan in place other than like there's mayors out there and governors out there asking people like, hey, can you house an immigrant in your house? You citizen that pay taxes, why don't you house an immigrant? Like that is not a solution. And you know what? God bless you if you think that that's a good idea and you're willing to take somebody in your house. Like you have a kind soul, but you unfortunately are a little misled when it comes to politics. It's not up to the private citizens to take on the government's problem. Like that is what when our forefathers that created this country, that is what they went to escape. They didn't have representation for what they were paying for. They were being taxed on items, but they had no say in how the government was ran or how their colonies were ran. The whole taxation without representation thing. That is exactly what's happening right now. Now, I'm not out there saying we need to go do what they did. I also won't say that I'm opposed to it, but we're out there, we're paying taxes. Like you work hard for a living and the government will take some of that money and then they will do whatever they want with it, which has always kind of been a thing, but we have a say in something. But maybe I'm alone in this, but I'm thinking that I don't feel like that I've had a say in anything. I don't feel like anybody that I see on the news or independent media has a say in anything. Like everything that we have seen lately has been so counter to the normal thought process. Like, not giving out tons of money to people that, I don't want to say that they don't deserve it, but they are criminals. When you cross the border illegally, you are a criminal. Like, it's very black and white. And the idea that we have to take care of these people and make sure that they, have a better life, dude. Like, if I went to a different country, if I just ran off to a different country, I am either a criminal, I'm messed up to the point where I can't live there anymore. Like, if they were bringing their family, it might be a little different. But a lot of these people that are coming over are 25 to 30-year-old men, and not just from Mexico, Guatemala, Venezuela, whatever. They're from China and from India or Middle East. Like, they're coming through the southern border because we just have it wide open. We have it absolutely wide open with no actual game plan. And I seen a thing that said that the president's going to go down to the border on Thursday, and I just it was just like when he went to East Palestine, the whole town was there saying like too little, too late. Like, it's been a year, and from him, I think it's been over a year since he went to the border or whatever. But like, what good would that do? Who down there by the border that lives in that area is going to be excited to see him? Of course he didn't want to go down there. People are going to speak their mind to him and say, get out. Like, just go home. Don't come here. You are not doing anything that's going to help anybody. And I can't blame them. Just a stream of people just constantly coming through illegally, and your local government is paying for them to do it, relocating them, flying them in places, asking citizens to put them in their homes. It's madness. It is madness. And I know that this was more of like a combo episode instead of just a migration episode, but like, to me, that is the biggest problem that we are facing right now. And if we're focusing on America's problems, that is the first one we should tackle, not Ukraine. Why? Who? Give me a good argument on why we should be in there. We're not defending democracy. That Zelensky guy, he's not a good dude. Like, we should not be just giving $60 billion to these people. Let them fight their own fight. Like, we don't have to be involved in every single conflict. We don't have to be the police of the world. We have 800 government bases, like army bases, all over the world. Other countries combined have like a total of 50. We have 800. And I'm not saying that we can't try to protect freedom, but we also can't try to tell other countries how they can run. Let them run their own countries. Let them fight their own wars. Let them do them. We have a country to run. It is literally like you going over to your neighbor's house and telling them that their house is dirty, and you come back home and your shit's all over the place. It is the exact same thing. Wherever they're trying to police how they do things and fight in their wars and do all this nonsense, and we have a wide open border. Look, guys, like, I say it every episode. Something's got to give. Something has to change. And I know that I'm not the only person that thinks this way. I cannot be. At one time, these were probably unpopular opinions. But, like, I feel like anybody with common sense can come to these conclusions that you cannot just keep bringing in more and more people. Our economy cannot sustain that. You cannot just keep giving people money. How close are we to losing the world's currency being the US dollar? How close are we? Because there are other currencies out there that are worth more than ours. If I were a financial investor, or if I had a company in some other country, why would I want it to be backed by the US dollar? There are already countries, like, it's mainly like Russia dealing with their own trade system or whatever, but like, they're not even trading in the American dollar. Like, I get there's a lot of reasons why they wouldn't do that, but there are countries out there that don't want to use the American dollar because, well, it's honestly just going down and down and down because we keep printing more money and giving it out to people that don't have any type of, I don't know, they're not producing anything, they're not working. We're just giving the money out. And it's okay, I guess. It's not a long-term goal. Like, even in the job that I'm in, if if I get asked about my future, they ask me my long-term goals. What do you want to achieve? What is the next position that you want to be in? But I feel like our government doesn't have any long-term goals, like, or long-term solutions for their problems. They're just like winging it. And it's wild. It's absolutely wild. But I mean, like, I would want to blame the president, but he doesn't have any say in any of it. He's not doing anything. He's just he's like the queen, just an old person sitting in a chair. It's the puppeteers behind him that are actually doing this stuff. The people that you didn't elect. That's what I'm talking about, the representation thing. The people that you did not elect are making these decisions, are passing these bills. Like, with Nancy Pelosi not being in the mix and Mitch McConnell hopefully, like, actually, I think he's gone. I don't know. There's too much to keep up with nowadays. But, like, it's just these old reptile people in these positions that are just there forever, just passing whatever nonsense. I hope Chuck Schumer's the next one that just goes to the wayside. That guy sucks. Like, just angry. It just angers me seeing him on the TV or whatever I'm watching on there. But look, guys, I feel like I'm ranting. That's basically what this whole episode was. It was just a big rant about kind of what was going on. I didn't have a particular like single subject matter. But there is something that I wanted to end you guys on. I thought that would be pretty funny. Here, let me flip nowadays. So let's see what old Bill Clinton has to say.
Not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. The jobs they hold might otherwise be held by citizens or legal immigrants. The public service they use impose burdens on our taxpayers. That's why our administration has moved aggressively to secure our borders more, by hiring a record number of new border guards, by deporting twice as many criminal aliens as ever before, by cracking down on illegal hiring, by barring welfare benefits to illegal aliens. In the budget I will present to you, we will try to do more to speed the deportation of illegal aliens who are arrested for crimes, to better identify illegal aliens in the workplace as recommended by the commission headed by former Congresswoman Barbara Jordan. We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Amen. Sorry for the outfit change. We had to run a couple errands in between. So when I originally recorded Bill Clinton talking, I'm learning OBS, so it didn't necessarily pan out. So it was like 2 minutes of me staring, watching the video. So I got that corrected, and since then I had a little wardrobe change here. But like, I know that our talk today has kind of been a lot of different subject matter, but a lot's going on. It's hard to nail down exactly the one subject we should be talking about, but I feel like Bill Clinton said it best there. It's so crazy, the difference in one person's opinion over the course of 20 years. I would imagine if you asked him the same questions or talked about our immigration policies now, he might have a very different opinion. But at that time, he was a Democrat talking about closing down the border, getting new border guards up there, and talking about. I mean, he said it best right there. We are a nation of immigrants, but we're also a nation of laws. And I mean, at least that's how it used to be. I can't say that it is right now. But anyways, I just thought that'd be something I could leave you guys with, and I really appreciate your time, and God bless America. Thank you for staying tuned. Have a good one.